Transformers: Age of Extinction. Yeah. Too bad it wasn't the last movie, because that would be really cool. It was like the Age of Extinction, no more Transformers. That's what I would like. But no, with an opening weekend like that, I mean, they're going to be making a lot more. This movie stars Marky Mark, aka Mark Wahlberg, as Cade Yeager. And then he has his super hot daughter, Nicola Peltz, Tessa, who was in that god-awful Last Airbender movie. Oh my god. But she's super hot. Her boyfriend in the movie is Jack Rayner, who plays Shane Dyson, who is this, like, he drives cars for a living because he's like a stunt racer. We have Stanley Tucci, who plays Joshua Joyce, who is this, like, a cat. Anyway, Joshua Joyce is like, he's a scientist who owns this huge company, KSI, I think it was. And what they're doing is building their own Transformers by melting the dead ones and using what they're made of, which they're calling Transformium, and building their own Transformers so they can control them. So, we also have Kelsey Grammer as, what was his name? Harold Attinger, who is part of the CIA, who they hunt down Transformers, and he's like partnered with a Transformer to hunt down Transformers. Yeah, I don't know. And we also have T.J. Miller, who is Lucas Flannery, who works for Mark Wahlberg's character, but I mean, I guess it's community service because they don't get paid, and Mark Wahlberg uses his money to buy Optimus Prime. Yep, and then I can get into the voices if I'll tell you the voices. Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, Frank Welker as Galvatron, John Goodman was Hound, which I loved. I love John Goodman's voice. I think he's a great voice actor and an actor in general. We have Ken Watanabe as Drift, Robert Foxworth as Ratchet, John DiMaggio as Crosshairs. We have Mark Ryan as Lockdown, and Reno Wilson as Brains. Yeah, so that's the cast of everyone I don't care about. I was not emotionally attached to any of these characters at all. Every time that Tessa was on screen, I was like, I hope she dies. You're worthless. I mean, you're hot. You don't make the movie any better. So just go die already. Maybe it'll be more emotional and it'll be better, but no, she's alive. And Mark, why would you accept this job? Oh yeah, it's a big budget job, so I think I'll go for it. Just because it's a big budget, that means it'll make a lot of money. Which it did make a lot of money, but it was so bad. It was. I'm just gonna rant. Is that cool with you? I'm gonna rant. The best part of the movie was Stanley Tucci, in my opinion. But towards the third act, I'm like, okay, you can go die now. I don't care about you. The only person I really somewhat cared for was Mark Wahlberg's character in Optimus Prime. And even Mark Wahlberg's character, I was like, yeah, the movie would be better if you died, because then it would be like, oh crap, her father just died. I'm kind of emotionally attached now, but no. But he was better than Shia LaBeouf, because all Shia LaBeouf did in the other ones was running around going, help, help, Bumblebee, Bumblebee, where are you? I need help, I need help. No, Cade Yeager, the scientist, was running around with an alien gun shooting Transformers. Better than Shia LaBeouf did. I can say that. Out of the 4 Transformers movies, though, this has to be my second favorite. It goes Transformers, this one, Dark of the Moon, and Revenge of the Fallen. But I'm not a fan of the Transformers franchise. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's cool. Like, I've only seen Revenge of the Fallen once. I've seen Transformers a bunch of times, but I never seem to make it to the end. I've seen Dark of the Moon twice, maybe. And this one I'll probably watch it again when it comes out on Blu-ray. And then I'll be done with it. It's just... And I'll probably watch it again when the next one comes out, and when the next one... But what I want is a Shia LaBeouf, Mark Wahlberg Transformers. If you're gonna focus on the human characters, like Michael Bay has been doing, I want the two of them to meet up for like the 6th movie, and be like, yeah, we gotta get things in our hands. But then again, a Transformers movie where it's just Transformers and no human subplot. I understand if you're on Earth, you kind of need the human subplot, but not so much. It's almost like a human movie with a Transformers subplot. It's... Oh my god. Oh. But I kind of liked the Shia LaBeouf subplot in the first movie. What really got me about the first 3 movies was the military. I was like, okay, I understand you need to be there, but do you need to be there this much in the movie? But the military made sense in this because they were hunting down the Transformers. They weren't working with them. One good thing I have to say about it, though, is that they didn't know who they were fighting. Optimus Prime didn't know what they were up against. All he knew was that the humans didn't want them anymore, so they've been in hiding. But there were no Decepticons. They were fighting the Transformers that the humans were making out of the old melted ones. Which I thought that was a nice little twist on it. It was like, oh, okay, so it's kind of not what they're expecting. But then there's a little twist to one of them because they have Megatron's head and they're like taking information from it. So there's a little twist with the leader of them, and I probably just gave it away. But if I didn't, good thing you didn't. But whatever. Maybe this can be a spoilers review. I don't know. You don't exactly know what's gonna happen. Yeah, Megatron comes back to life again. No, that was a joke. I'm joking. The movie kind of felt like a commercial in some ways, because it was non-stop action. It's like, you think that you're just gonna be like, ooh, it's action all the time. This is gonna be awesome. But about an hour and a half into it, I'm like, I still have another hour and 20 so minutes. Hour 19 more minutes. Because Michael Bay just needs to stop. He needs to stop with this. I mean, when there's an explosion in prehistoric times in the first minute of the movie, I was done. I was like, oh. The first minute. Michael Bay, you couldn't give us a movie where the first minute didn't have an explosion? You think boom, 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 boom. You think that would be cool? but it's not. It's fun to watch for maybe a scene. I'd say 3 big scenes, but throughout the movie, it was just action. Which, if it was all dialogue, it would have been much worse. Because Michael Bay has this sense of humor that no one else gets. I'm sitting there like, was that supposed to be funny? Or what's going on? I think that was supposed to be funny. Every time they would say something. Especially Stanley Tucci. Oh my God. It was so bad. And literally, the only reason they keep doing this is because it makes money and it sells toys. And every time John Goodman's character would talk, it sounded like something that you press the button on a toy and it would say. It was, one point he was like, "I'm a wicked robot." And then he's like, "I'm all out of ammo. Cover me." I'm like, "I'm a terrible pilot, but oh well." And then the trailers for it, you're like, "Oh, the Dinobots." And then you're sitting there, I'm like, 2 hours in, no Dinobots. 2:10, no Dinobots. 2:30, oh, Dinobots. And then it's like 10, 15 more minutes left, and you're like, they didn't even call them by their names. Grimlocks, Slugs, stuff like that. All I know is Grimlock for sure. But I'm like, really? You could have done so much more with those characters. They are so cool, and you just throw them away for the final battle. Which there wasn't even really a final battle, because the whole thing was a battle. Overall impression, it was a fun movie to watch if you can overlook everything that's wrong with it. Which I can overlook it and be like, okay, yeah, they're fighting all the time. The animation was kind of cheesy. It kind of didn't look real in some shots. Some shots it looked really good, and then other times it's like, did they use time that they were supposed to be doing on that in this shot? Because that shot doesn't have enough animation. It doesn't have enough shadows or something. It just looked weird. But boom, 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 boom does not make for a good movie. And then Mark Wahlberg complaining about how he's broke and his hot daughter's like, who's gonna take care of you when I go to college? That doesn't make for a good movie. Father and new boyfriend relationship does not make for a good movie. Well, her daughter's boyfriend, not his boyfriend. He lives in a no dating household. He don't date the hottest girl in school that isn't allowed to date. I love how Bumblebee still talks through the radio. That's the best thing I can say about it. I love that little... He talks through the radio. He doesn't have a voice box like all the other Transformers, which is cool. So yeah, I did not like this movie. I know my partner who does this with me sometimes, he really enjoys the whole Transformers franchise. He thinks they're great movies. I just don't see it. He loved this movie. I saw it with him today. He thought it was awesome, and I'm like, looks like a commercial. Yeah. I don't know. Out of 10, I think I'll give it a 5.5 because it wasn't so bad that I was like, ugh. But it also wasn't so great that I was like, what's gonna happen? It was an alright movie. It wasn't... Well, it's a step below alright. It's standable. I can sit through it. Anyways, that's my opinion. You guys want to let me know down below in the comments, or if you agree with me, you can like it. If you disagree with me, you can dislike it, but I wouldn't really appreciate that. You can follow us on Twitter, @TheFilmGeekz. Do all this, subscribe, you can come back for more. I'll be seeing Tammy soon, so that'll be up. I might see Earth to Echo, who knows? I mean, I'm only a teenage kid, so I might not. I might. Summer vacation, you know. Anyways, just do all that, and I'll see you next time, Film Geeks.